Okay, thanks. Okay, so as I mentioned, Steph, you received a grant from iConstruct. So what is the project that the grant contributed to?
Yes, absolutely. B&M, famously not the home store, just to say, Betteridge and Milsom. We do get that a lot, unsurprisingly. We're a construction consultancy firm, so we deal with quantity surveying, project management, but also an employer's agent and clerk of works as well. So as part of that, we do undertake a lot of snagging for our clients and obviously manage the kind of defects management plan for them. Prior to gaining the grant, a lot of our work was actually still done in the kind of old school clerk of works way, where they'd go around and they'd handwrite all the defects down, mark it up on drawings. What we found is that was obviously quite time consuming. It did come with some errors. It was quite tricky to keep track of all the defects. When someone would send the tracker to a client, they'd amend it, send it back, it'd go out to everybody, and obviously it was causing quite a lot of problems. One of the staff in my office actually suggested that we could utilise a snagging app. I'm sure a lot of you have seen them and might even have used them. And it kind of sat on the back burner for a long time. It was one of those projects that would be nice to have and nice to do. And then I came across iConstruct and the ability to get the funding, and I thought, well, this is a really good opportunity to put a business case forward to my directors and say that there's a good opportunity for us to not only fund the project, but to actually run it as a proper project in-house. So we purchased Plan Radar, is the name of the snagging app. There are others available, I'm sure. And that enabled us to digitalise the snagging process. So using the app, the staff were able to go out to site and actually, in a real-time manner, log and submit snags to everybody who's involved in the project. They were able to take photos of the snag, add comments, put dates that it was due. All of this information was instantly transferred to whoever needed it. And I think a lot of our clients who have experienced it since we started using it would certainly say there's been a massive benefit.
Brilliant. Were you able to use Plan Radar out of the box, or did it need to be customised to your particular business requirements?
We could use it out of the box, but actually we spent some time once we got it actually customising it to what we needed. We were able to customise the forms, make changes in the way that it was used, allocate people to use it properly. What that enabled us to do is to ensure that actually we're getting the most out of it. And what I would say is actually we're only just scratching the surface of what Plan Radar can offer us. Even though the snagging was the first part of this, what the grant is going to be able to allow us to do going forward is to use Plan Radar in another fashion, which would be around clerk of works reporting as well. So weekly visits by our clerk of works, we'll be able to do that automatically on Plan Radar as well.
Fantastic. So you've already answered the next question I had in mind. So what? Don't worry about it. We don't rehearse there, honestly. Yeah. So so obviously it's brought obviously a benefit to your business in terms of simplifying the work and making it easier for you to communicate with customers and contractors, etc. So what do you anticipate the bottom line impact is of using Plan Radar is going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're a young firm. We're probably an average age of about 33, which for the construction industry is actually quite low, I would imagine. What we've got is a group of tech savvy guys and girls that work for us who want to streamline, they want to be efficient, they want to be doing everything in the best way possible. What it does is allows them to be a part of that. We've really engaged them. So 2 of the staff led the project in-house. What that allowed them to do, they investigated the apps, they came to me with their kind of choice of the app, and what that's meant is that all of our processes are just a little bit more streamlined. They feel they're working effectively, they feel they're communicating better with our clients. That can only mean a good thing for our service and therefore happier clients ultimately.
Brilliant. I mean, did iConstruct add any other value for you besides grants?
Yeah, well, as I kind of mentioned, I spoke about business case, and I have to say spending time with Sian was just really beneficial. When we sat and we went through the application form, it really helped me almost build my own business case automatically through doing the application, which made justifying it and justifying the spend so much easier. So I'm really grateful to Sian for her time. Brilliant.
Unfortunately, Sian can't be with us today because of illness, but we'll certainly, I know you've thanked her personally anyway, but we'll pass that on. At least it's on glorious Technicolor now anyway. Okay, so is it probably reasonable to say that without iConstruct, the project probably wouldn't have happened?
Yeah, I think we're going to echo what Alan said. I think, you know, those projects are always nice to have and sit on the back burner, but you do almost need a kick to do it. And I think iConstruct certainly gave us the kick and the motivation to do it.
Brilliant, fantastic. So have you attended any of our events or networking, apart from this one, obviously?
I mean, it's a delight to be here actually and see the building and see everyone in person for the first time. I know we spoke about that earlier. Yeah, I did actually. I've attended a couple, and actually what I found very useful were around the projects that you mentioned in the supply chain opportunities. So I attended the Sizewell C seminar, webinar online, and the Perfleet as well. And I think they're fantastic add-ons that you guys have been able to provide as part of your membership to give people the opportunity to hear about things in the area that necessarily we might not have been able to hear about.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, have we got any questions for Steph, please? Oh, good, thank you, sir. Right, there you go. Thanks. Cheers.
Hi, Steph. Mike Page. First of all, really interesting to hear what you're doing. How this is benefiting. Are you, something I've heard about recently is the new Building Safety Act. I'm sure that's resonating around your business. How that, just interested how that's going to, that's going to impact on the service.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd like to think that using something like Plan Radar will give us the opportunity to ensure that we can, I suppose, ensure that we are doing is accurate, it's fair, and that, working with yourselves, obviously, that we come to the conclusion that we can do everything more collaboratively and together, and maybe eliminate a lot of that in the first instance. I think, hopefully we shouldn't need to be using snagging apps going forward. And I think hopefully better collaboration throughout will help that.
Perhaps I'll just explain to the audience, it's about the fact that auditing is going to become very much part of, sort of how building construction works is something as you go along. For safety reasons, it's obviously about fire safety is primarily the thing. But BIM, if you're using BIM, it's going to, software is going to become part of potentially the BIM software as well as in part of the auditing process as well. Larger projects. So it's quite a revolutionary idea, but it is coming. We're all going to have to be aware of this.
Yes, I think certainly BIM. Oh, sorry, yeah, at the back there. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, morning, Steph. It's Peter Whitmore, Northern Signal. Really interesting to hear the use of the snagging app and very helpful. Just wondered if you could get clients to adopt its use as well, or whether it was more of an in-house tool to manage the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Clients are very receptive to it, and they can be what we call watchers on the system. So they can have access to the system but not edit, if that makes sense. So they can see everything in real time and live. And I think that's made a massive difference in terms of seeing the collaboration between the contractor and ourselves, and the fact that they have that kind of visibility. They feel a lot more comforted. They know things are being dealt with. They can see the progress of things that are being done. So I think the more that we use it with clients, I'm hopeful that the more kind of good feedback we get, the more they will readily adopt something like this and understand its benefit.
Have we got any more questions? Oh, yeah. That's there. Sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes. So what you've been implementing then with the app is you're doing something which you traditionally did anyway, just in a manual process. Now doing it using a digital app, collecting data. What sort of efficiencies have you actually realised by doing it in a digital way? And also the future benefits of having that data, where it's stored, and it can obviously be queried later.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. It's a great question. I think, I mean, as we were saying earlier, it's very inherent of our industry to do things with pen and paper. And I think to be able to digitalise that, and not even just by email, because obviously a lot of us do everything by email, but to take it away from emails even and put it into one system. You're saying about where the data is stored. It's all in one system where everybody just has access, one app or one website, rather than this flying of emails around the place is marvellous. And in terms of efficiencies, No figures yet, and I'm looking forward to finding out, but the feedback from the staff has been brilliant. You know, they're very more kind of interested now in undertaking that process. They're keen to do it because they know they can use an app that's reliable, that gives them the kind of space to put all the information in. They know they then don't have to go out to the office and retype everything up into an Excel spreadsheet. I was spreadsheets earlier, getting away from that. So again, I think all of that can only be positive. And for a young bunch of guys and girls, they want to be working for businesses that embrace technology and digitalisation. And I think this is only the first step in which B&M can hopefully do that.
Thank you, again. Do you think that this is actually changing people's attitude to quality? Because, you know, at the moment, snagging is about doing it afterwards, you know, finding it afterwards, but actually the signing off, are we actually creating quality in the first place?
Absolutely. I've worked for several contractors in my time in the industry so far. This is like my first consultancy side role. What I found is when I worked for contractors, there was always an attitude, and I'm sure both of you guys have spoken to today, of zero defects. I mean, there has to be. There's no other option in my mind. But yes, absolutely. With the clerk of works role especially, we're seeing a lot more clients actively choosing to take on clerk of works again, or quality managers, however you want to call it. And I think that's absolutely the right way to do it, you know, especially with digitalisation. It makes that life a little bit easier. And I think that can only bring about better buildings. So yes, I hope so. I hope more clients take up, you know, not just because it would help B&M, but obviously take up a clerk of works opportunity to enable that to happen.
Interesting you should mention that. I was talking to the Colchester Institute in Braintree only last week, and they were mentioning that one of the decision-making criteria for getting young people into the sector is expertise in video games, and in terms of being able to visualise in 3D, being able to translate that expertise.
Funny enough, you mentioned that I do a lot of work with local schools, so I'm quite keen on going into speaking to kids about careers in construction, especially as a woman in construction myself. And it was you say the words Minecraft and construction, and all of a sudden there is kind of prick up, and they go, "What you use?" You know, they do not understand the amount of digitalisation the industry is going through at the moment. I think it's really crucial that, you know, everyone sitting in this room spends some time making sure that happens. Yeah.
Well, my grandson's already talking about a nuclear power station Minecraft app. So we'll see about that. I mean, the government are planning to build another 10, so there might be an opportunity for him by the time he's left school. Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Steph, and thanks for sharing your expertise.
Thank you very much.